Our theme today is why. Not the letter Y, but your why, your motivation. Why you do what you want to do. This is a great exercise for getting in touch with what should you be doing, because a lot of times we don't know. But in reality, we do know. It's all right there. Your purpose is already laid out up in here. You just got to get in touch with it.
It's really learning to infuse emotion into our reasons. And when we can blend the two, that's where we start to get horsepower. That's where, like, when shit really hits the fan, we can always lean back on that.
Thanks for coming out here and watching another episode of Living Your Vision, the show where we help each other overcome those fears and create lasting habits that help us live the lives we are meant to live. Is that what you guys want to do? All right, right on. So I'm your host, Jimmy Green. Thanks for coming out today. Our guest, Gavin Masumiya. Thank you very much. Give Gavin a round of applause. Our theme today is why. Not the letter Y, but your why, your motivation. Why you do what you want to do, okay? Now, why is why important? Because it's what motivates you to get through those tough times when you have fear and you have worries and you have doubts and things keep you from getting those goals that you really want to accomplish, right? Does that happen to anybody here? Ever happen, right? You got something you want to do in life, an ambitious goal, something you want to do, a project you want to do, or you want to maybe earn more money, or there's a relationship that you want to develop, but you run into stumbling blocks, right? You find yourself starting but stopping. Or you find yourself getting part way there and then realizing, I don't know, it's not comfortable, and you stop and you don't follow through all the way. Well, part of the reason could be your why, in terms of what's the motivation, what's the real reason you're doing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and some tools I've got, or one tool specifically, to help you overcome any kind of blocks in that area. And then Gavin's going to talk about making that why super strong. So let me give you a little bit of background. So go back a few years back, I was about 45 pounds heavier than I am now. And weight was always an issue for me. Every year I set that goal. I'm going to lose so many pounds. And I had a diet routine and I had the exercise routine. And you know, guys, ever happened to you guys? You know, New Year's Eve, okay, I'm going to cut out eating this and I'm going to the gym 5 days a week. Does that ever happen to you guys? Yeah. And so every year, probably about 5-10 years, I'd have that goal. And I'd start out and maybe I'd have some progress. And then something would come up and I'd slide back. Or I would not start, or I'd be afraid to do it. And I kept running into these blocks and sliding back and running these blocks and sliding back. And I realized part of the reason was my why wasn't strong enough. My motivation wasn't strong enough to power me through those things that were stopping me, okay? So, and just so you know how our mind works, our mind's basically two central parts. There's the subconscious part, which is our primitive instinctive mind. I call it our caveman mind. It's what keeps us in survival mode. It keeps us alive. You guys are all sitting here right here because everything you've done your entire life has worked. Am I right? So you're here, you're healthy, you're happy. So why would your subconscious mind want to change any of that? So if you take a new risk in life, something that puts you at a vulnerable place, or you sacrifice something in your life, like going to the gym instead of, watching TV, or cutting something out of your diet, that creates scarcity. And your subconscious mind doesn't like that. It doesn't like scarcity. So what it does, and neurologists have proven that this subconscious mind, our inner mind, the old mind, controls about 95% of our emotions, our behaviors, and our habits. So what it does is it derails you. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you not feel good. Like Gavin was talking to that girl. It made him afraid to do that because he didn't want to risk being shunned by the group. And we need the group to survive. That's our caveman mind, right? We need to survive as a group. And so it doesn't want to take risk, or it doesn't want to lose things because it's afraid if it lose something, like going on a diet, that you're never going to get to eat that food again, and that pleasure is going to go away and you're never going to get it back again. So what it does is it derails you. It causes you to pause, causes you to stop. So I've got some tools today, or I've got a tool and he's got a tool. We're going to talk about how to overcome that. So the big one is, what's your why? What's your motivation? Why do you want to do? And I found my why was my kids. I went to the doctor. He said I was type 2 diabetic. He said I was in danger of dying early. My dad had heart disease. My brother had heart disease. He said, dude, you got to clean it up. And I realized I got to be a good role model. So I did it for my kids. And that made a really strong why. But I'd still have those points where I wouldn't want to go to the gym, or I wouldn't want to work out, or I wouldn't want to do what I needed to do. And I needed to get through it. So here's something I use every single day, all day long, to get me in touch with my why. All right? So Philip, Yep. Come on up. Philip's going to be my volunteer. Give Philip a hand, guys. All right. So I'm going to go through the demonstration with Philip, okay? All right? So tell me about what it is you want to do. What is it you're motivated to do?
What we talked about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be more successful in my career.
So you want to be more successful in your career. And
Yeah.
do you know how you need to do that?
Nope.
Okay, very good. So this is perfect for it, okay? So this is a great exercise for getting in touch with what should you be doing, because a lot of times we don't know. But in reality, we do know. It's all right there. Your purpose is already laid out up in here. You just got to get in touch with it, okay? So I do this all day long. It's called my 1 minute reset, and remember the initials BBAA, okay? B, breathe. B, body check. A, awareness. And the last A is ask, okay? So you guys can do this if you want to sit up while you're doing. You can go through the same thing as he's doing. And I'm going to have Philip here do it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So just wherever you're at, you can stop while you're sitting in the car or your desk at work or wherever you're at home. You know, you get in kind of a meditative state, get calm. So here's what you're going to do. Close your eyes. So go ahead, close your eyes. And then just breathe deeply. Just some nice, slow, deep breaths. Be aware of your air going in and out. In and out. And put your hands down by your side and just relax. Be open. Keep your hands in an open state. I like to keep them open like this. Be in a nice, open, breathing state. And then do a quick body check. So start with your feet. Feel your feet all the way up to your legs, to your hips, your chest, down your arms, in your head. You notice any spots have any tension or anything?
Yeah, I got trucked in the game we were playing earlier, so got some tension.
All right, so feel that tension. Just kind of focus on it and just let it be. Just be aware of it. Any tension you have in your body, just be aware of what it is. Okay? And take another breath, and when you exhale, just kind of release that tension. Okay? Now just stay in breath. Nice, deep breaths. And then think about your vision in terms of earning more money and what you want to do. And what it would feel like having that. Just feel that sensation. And feel gratitude for all the things you have in your life that are going well. You're here, you're healthy, you're alive. It's a beautiful day. Now think again in terms of that vision that you've got. And real quietly, just ask yourself, what's my next directed action? Did you get an answer?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Follow up with Kevin Bass.
Boom. That's it. All right. Thank you, Phil. All right. Now, that's a real simple one. Go ahead and sit down. Thank you very much. But that's something I do all day long. When I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, I just stop and say, okay, what is the answer? Because my true mind, my inner self, you can call it source or God or higher power, whatever works for you, gives me the answer. But the key is that caveman is always yapping. It's loud. It's you can't do it. You're not good enough. You should be doing this. Everyone else is doing that. And it's always loud. So the key is to get quiet, get aware, get in that place of being right in the moment, and then asking, what's my next action? And I've got a writing exercise on my website, getintentional.com. It's get-intentional.com. And there's a worksheet on there. There's a whole writing worksheet that if you want to check it out, you can. But did you guys find that helpful? Right on. All right. So now I'm going to bring on my man, Gavin. And I'm going to interview Gavin and talk to Gavin about a few things. But he's also going to share one of his tools for how to get in touch with your why and getting strengthened. All right? So let's give it a hand for Gavin. So thanks for coming today. Really appreciate you.
Glad to be here.
Showing up and helping these guys out and talking about a little bit of your truth and what you do. So real quick, let's talk about what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a mindset coach. And so I really just help people to recognize where their barriers are and help them to really design that vision on where it is that they're heading out to. So working on the mindset, helping them to align with the habits, and setting up accountability around it.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned that you have a project about helping people be human. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's a group program. I'm doing the second rendition. It's launching back in January. It's called Take Back Your Human. Mm-hmm. And so it really was inspired by just really this digital age and how everything's just available at the touch of a button right there. And then that physical kind of closeness, that connection is something that can be lost. So I was like, how can I actually create a container that's digital, that's about authentically relating to people? It's about getting in other people's worlds and making them really be seen. And so just like my coaching, it's about helping people to really finding clarity, learning about the three mechanisms of habits, And inside of clarity, just to back up a little bit, we go around like vision, your purpose, and within that, there's something that I'll share later called the 7 levels of why. And it's really learning to infuse emotion into our reasons. And when we could blend the two, that's where we start to get horsepower. That's where, like, when shit really hits the fan, we can always lean back on that. And so 7 levels of why is one strategy that I use. And so it's basically, it's split up in 3 tiers. It's about helping people develop clarity, habits and accountability, and through that experiencing deep connection as this growth mindset conglomerate of people that just want to be the best humans possible.
Excellent. That's very good. And it's funny how I've heard also too with visioning how important it is to have feeling in there. You connect a feeling to it, it makes it stronger and helps you get through it. And we'll talk about that too. And you'll talk about that. So let's talk a little bit about your background. Like, why did you get into coaching? What drives you? What's your why?
It's about helping people to unleash their self-expression, and that involves a deep sense of self-awareness to know what you stand for so that you can express that. And I just think about me being 12 years old in that 5th grade class on the little red carpet square, so shy. And the teachers would be like, Gavin, you got anything to say? You don't really say anything. And that just made me want to curl back more. And it was only until 9th grade when a friend at the time, Ariana, asked for a piece of advice around something going on with her father. And I just said I made up something, at 9th grade. I didn't know what I was talking about, but I just said, just tell your father that you love him. She took that advice and she came back the next day. I turned around and she just hugged me. And she said, thank you so much for that, And that was the first time that somebody ever made me feel like my voice actually meant something. And that started to become the slow roll of me starting to voice and share myself and what I believe in. And so my goal really is to be more be an Ariana for the world.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. And that's funny how our motivation for what we do comes from stuff we did that happened to us or where we came from and how we're compelled to help others.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. That's fantastic. It's wonderful. Well, I tell you, you want to help this group out here today?
Yeah, sure.
You all right? You want to help them go through their levels of why and get them motivated? All right, you ready to do it? All right, man, I'll give you the microphone. It's all you, buddy.
Boom. Thank you. So in Japanese, we say konnichiwa. That means hello to all of y'all here. And today, really, I wanted to specifically talk about something that can be deemed as really a saturated statement. Right? A lot of thought leaders and personal development, like teachers or so-called gurus, they talk about the importance of having a why power. Even the renowned peak performance coach who's coached around over 100 countries, Tony Robbins, he always says it doesn't matter whether he's coaching a school teacher or a high executive, a CEO or Anthony Hopkins. He always wants people to get really connected to what is really their purpose. And so this simple exercise that I'm going to actually have somebody from the audience to really come up with, the point of this is to dig deeper than just something that is already premeditated in your mind. It's actually allowing yourself to actually dig deeper into almost like the subconscious place. And so this is an exercise that was taken by this guy named Dean Graziosi. Does anybody know him? Right? He's pretty big in real estate. He's also has this big partnership with Tony Robbins right now. And he calls it in his Millionaire Success Habits. It's called the 7 levels of why. Is anybody familiar with that? No. Okay. It's perfect. So we're going to actually demonstrate this. And it was something that I've done a handful of times. And I'll share mine towards the latter part. But first, I'm actually going to call up somebody, I believe it's Alfred. So would you like to come up here? Let's give Alfred a round of applause. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good, man. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. And I just want to acknowledge you for coming up here. And what we're going to do is, like I said, it's going to be the 7 levels of why. And the very first part of it is that we want to know what the why is for. Right? So a very simple question I could really ask is, what is something that you deeply desire at this point in your life?
To be the man that I always wanted to be.
So be the man you always want to be. That's really awesome. That can entail a lot of different things. So let's actually look and even think about there's different areas of your life. What would be one area that you'd want to focus on that if you were to focus on this would make a really big difference in your life?
To grow my business and extend my education around my business.
Okay. So to educate yourself more around your business, tell me a little bit about what is your business?
I'm a massage therapist. I'm going to school for physical therapy, so sports rehab.
Okay. So physical therapy is the end game? Okay. So physical therapy, right? He wants to be on the road to becoming a physical therapist. You're currently in school? Okay. So this is where it's going to start right here, okay? And it's very simple. It's why do you want to become a physical therapist?
That's what I resonate with. That's what I feel has been chosen to me by as my purpose. That's what I am really good at.
Why is it important for you to pursue physical therapy then?
To be able to help those who don't know how or don't know it yet that they need to help themselves, and to be more physically responsible.
So with that, why is it important for you to try to help people where it's hard to help themselves?
Because of the natural roadblocks and the scarcity mentality that we touched on earlier.
And why is it important for you to help people with their scarcity mentality?
Because I am going to get out of my scarcity mentality, and by such, the best way to learn is to teach, and to actually just help grow those around me to be just adapt into the world through physical activity.
And like this. And why is it important for you to help teaching others so that you can get out of your own scarcity mentality?
Because earlier in my life, I had physical incapabilities. So understanding that through my physical incapabilities and my base level of knowledge at that point in time, and then through my growth of knowledge in physical activity, I know that mindset and education is not abundant, and people just don't always interact with it. So through my task of the world is to provide that type of education and provide that layer or level of like the hand, so that somebody can reach out and climb up from themselves, get out of the basement.
Did you feel that right there? Yeah. So we didn't even get to the 7 levels. Imagine if we just kept getting deeper. That was the 4th level right there. And first off, Alfred, thank you so much for coming up. We just want to sit back down right there. So we touched upon something that was really deep, and I'll just relate this to my story. I was told this, and my coach at the time, he spent an hour on me asking that same annoying ass question, why? Why? Why do you want to coach? Because it feels good. Why is it important for you to do something that makes you feel good? Because I want people to feel like they're not alone. Why is it important for you to actually help people feel like they're not alone? Because that's how I felt growing up, being a shy kid that was a year older than everybody else, thinking that I was stupid than everybody, so that every time my birthday rolled around is a reason for somebody to talk shit about me. And that's why for now, I would actually stunt my self-expression like my words didn't mean a damn thing, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping people to unleash their self-expression. You see, like I said that 10,000 times. But it touches at this part of my life where I felt a deficit. And just like what Alfred was noting in level 4 of why, he was talking about a time in his life where he just didn't feel like he had that power. And one of the messages that I wanted to actually share here too is that coming up with our whys, when we discover it, the one that viscerally, like from the pit of our gut, we feel that it moves us, that's one of those, it's a guidepost right there. It's something that's much deeper. And even if it takes pain is one of the most powerful motivators that we have, to where you can get to a point where it's never again, never again. So you don't need a coach to do this. It can be something that you can partner with a friend. But one of the things is that you don't want to sell the man or that person short. And you don't want to sell yourself out. So it's time to get really honest. When you're saying your why and what you want to know the why behind the why that's behind the why that's behind the why. That tugs. And from it, your pain can turn into a passion. And that's how it occurred for me. My passion arose out of a deficit. So That's just something that I just wanted to impart, the 7 levels of why, to just think about something about what do you really want at this point in your life? And then keep going, why? But use that sentence that you said right beforehand, like I want to lose weight to look good. Why do you want to look good? Because I want to feel better about the person that I see in the mirror. Why is it important for you to want to feel better about that person in the mirror? And it adds more gravity and context to your purpose. And when you can add emotion and flood it, you got something going for you. So with that, thank you.
All right, Mr. Gavin, stay here, buddy. You're good. All right. Thank you, man. Thank you very much for that. It was awesome. And he brings up a good point when he went with Alfred. It's about the why of like the feeling. That's what really links us into our goals and our visions and all that. It's like, how does it feel? How does it make you feel to do this? Is it coming from a place of pain where you're trying to avoid pain, so you're moving towards something that's going to feel pleasure? Or are you trying to help people, help yourself, and make life better? And that's the key, and that's the driving force. Get in touch with that why and be clear. So now you learned 2 things today. One, a little 1-minute reset in terms of getting in touch with that why. And Gavin's 7 levels of why. Now, how can they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me, social media, at Gavin Masumiya. Pretty active on Instagram, and also gavinmasumiya.com is my website.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's give it up for Gavin. And then if you want any more information for mine, I'm on the website, get-intentional.com, and I'm also on social media. I'm Jimmy Green. And thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And just remember, okay, you deserve it. We all deserve it to live the life we are meant to live. It's just about changing one habit at a time. Thanks a lot, you guys. Thanks for coming out.